So the Kraft kitchen is abuzz. We're about to get this event going, but for our last interview today, I am really excited to introduce Elena Terry from Wild Bearies in Wisconsin. And I just wanted to give you the floor to introduce yourself, what it is that you do, and how'd you get involved with the James Beard Foundation?
Awesome. Well, hello. Thank you for having me. I'm excited for today too, getting to see some familiar faces. So I'm Elena Terry. I'm the executive chef and founder of a nonprofit organization named Wild Bearies. We do community outreach, education, advocacy, agriculture, everything around food in our tribal communities, but not exclusive to tribal communities.
That's awesome. So how did you get involved with the James Beard Foundation and the mentorship program?
So the James Beard Foundation reached out to me. Wild Bearies really is based on Culinary mentorship program, and they asked if I would be willing to be an advisor in this new program that they had coming up called the Legacy Network, which was for BIPOC culinarians, not exclusive to chefs. And I was like, absolutely, any way that I can help support my community, and that being like the food industry, I'm down, sign me up.
How many people have come through your program? Like how many mentees do you have at this point?
So from my cohort, I've been able to work directly with 4 of the advisees and also some of the advisors who have become very good friends of mine in the industry. I think with our initial cohort, I'm pretty close with almost everybody that we went through the program with.
Yeah, you've been giving a lot of hugs since we
Yes, it's just like feels good to see family again.
Yeah. How did you get started in the culinary world? You're a chef and you said you were a butcher, which I can't wait to dive into that, but how did you get your start?
So I've been a cook my entire life, especially for traditional and ceremonial purposes in our tribe, which was very specific with the ingredients that I worked with. But I've had a love of food and the industry. Surprisingly enough, I was on our tribal council, and one day I realized that this was not the job for me, and I walked away from it all and went back to restaurants, which was a place that I always thought I could thrive in, and I understood that space. I knew I could make great change if I was doing what I loved and continued working towards a purpose. And so it just seemed natural for me to go into the kitchen and to take a stronger presence as like a chef and to kind of own my space. But as a young child, my grandma, she was really known for her butchery skills and her wild game processing. And I was her little shadow. I loved being a part of all of it. I loved being around the open fire. I loved processing the harvest that came, if it was corn or, from the hunt. And it was always a space where I felt truly nurtured. It's been a place of comfort, but also challenge. And I think every day I learn something new in my job.
Chef Jeff and I were just speaking about how food is medicine, and you and I were speaking before we started recording about a lot of the initiatives that you have to showcase the food of your people and what it means to you, I guess, to be a part of your communities. What does your cooking and Wild Bearies mean to you as far as your community and bringing people into the process?
So Wild Bearies began as a culinary mentorship program for individuals in our community who were overcoming alcohol and other drug abuse issues or emotional trauma through the healing power of food as medicine. But we really took the philosophy that it is undeniably nutritious, but the medicine comes from us being this igniter, the way we interact with each other, the energetic exchange when you're around people in spaces sharing a meal, or when you're out in the garden cultivating, what it really truly means to be grounded in a space. And with our ancestral foods and our ancestral lands, the healing journey really started with me and going back to this way of life and saying if this is my journey to be by my food and I want to be a chef, then I have to trust that putting them together will be a space that I'm creating where I can heal, and maybe I can show others how to do that.
Yeah, it's so funny because food is really the big unifier, and historically it's been the thing that held communities together, and the harvest really meant something, and butchering an animal wasn't just something that happened, it was planned. And I really love that you're getting back to the natural kind of rhythm of things that I think that a lot of us have kind of forgotten about and gotten away from. But I also love that you learned how to butcher through just generations of being taught. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that means to you and kind of your your coolest, latest butchery story, I guess, if you will.
Sure. I mean, it means that every time that I stop and do this practice of caring for like a gift, which really is what butchery is, it's caring for this gift of life that we're given, it takes me back to these days that I spent with my grandmother or my great-grandmother, and not only the practice of doing it, but the lessons that went along with it. Like, I am not the harvester, I'm not the hunter or the person that goes out and gets the animals, but I really find a lot of enjoyment in processing and being able to take that out to my community and share. And so anytime that we do those practices, it's very ceremonial for us, and appreciating the gifts that, you know, we were given for our community. So I was able to recently, I mean, like a couple of days ago, got back from San Antonio, where I was able to go and support one of my advisees from the Legacy Network, Lucille from the Texas Tribal Bison Project. And they were on their 3rd annual bison harvest, but it was getting large, and she wanted some support in facilitating the process of, you know, butchering, distribution, packaging of the bison to make sure it was done in a way that the community could receive it well. And I was like, absolutely, let me come down and help you. So I was able to physically and like emotionally be a support for my advisee in a time that I was able to step aside after all of the work was done, you know, very physically exhausted.
Yeah.
A bison is not a small animal, but to step back and to see all of the success of somebody that I have just been like cheering for, just genuinely want to see succeed, it was very emotional for me as her advisor. You know, Lucille is somebody that I look up to in the work that she's doing. So for her to trust me in my advice and my support, and to be able to share those moments of like glory with me, like that is what this is about.
So when we were speaking earlier, you had said that it started as a really small bison farm, and it's grown. Can you tell us a little bit? I'm really interested in this.
Yeah, so when I first met Lucille, we were part of the pilot cohort for the Legacy Network, and she was, you know, in a mobile trailer, and she was acquiring land and had a very small herd. And so I just went down there, and they have recently purchased their 2nd plot of land. Their herd is like 29 head right now.
Wow.
And they are able to now supply restaurants, community members. They have like a WIC program. It's just amazing the things that she's been able to do to provide something where she really enjoys the work and loves it to her community.
I can imagine how proud you must be. That's like, I
mean, yeah. Even now I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it. Like, what an amazing
I'm getting a little misty thinking about it too.
You know?
So that's really, really amazing. How does training others affect the way that you cook? I think you and I were speaking earlier about the reciprocal nature of this program.
I mean, everybody has something to teach you and that they want to share with you. And for me, I mean, this is a journey ultimately that I'm on, and every person that comes in my path or shares with me that trusts my guidance or, you know, is able to receive the education that I give them in a good way, like that changes me and transforms my journey a little bit. Like you did talk to Jeff and you talked to Jared, I believe, and they're 2 of my mentees as well. And I was able to take Jeff to France with me, and we were able to cook at the US Embassy in Paris.
That's amazing.
Yes, and then we toured France and talked about the work that we do, our relationship as a mentor and a mentee, and after that I was able to watch Jeff like go and get his pizza business started and all of these things. Like the inspiration is in that, in being able to witness these beautiful things happening in our community, the culinary community.
Speaking to Jeff, I'm so inspired by the work that he's doing, and just knowing that you were a part of helping shape that is just, the work you're doing is incredible. And thank you so much for helping raise the next level of our chef communities. Are there other ways that you've been involved in the James Beard Foundation?
Yes, I was able to cook for the Good Food for Good and bring in additional mentees that we have that are working in other programs. And then this past year, I was able to do a dinner at the platform by James Beard Foundation, where I was able to bring in 2 of my Legacy Network mentees to come and work with me. So the relationship is ongoing, and it just keeps expanding the resources and the ones that I'm able to bring in, and not only teach them how to work in the kitchen and these spaces for a day, but getting the time to have these beautiful exchanges while we're in those spaces. Like it just continues to build these hopefully long-lasting relationships with each other.
It is funny getting to do like guest chef dinners and stuff when you're on a cutting board next to someone for like 6 hours straight.
You learn a lot about a person.
You make this really weird, like friendly connection. By the time the dinner's over, it's like you've known each other for 2 years. But I really do feel like we're all kindred spirits at the end of the day. And you know, no matter where you are in the food world, all that we want to do is make people happy, make people healthy, and create a better world for all of us. So what is the biggest takeaway that you've gotten from the program so far?
I think the biggest takeaway is that my family is bigger now. You know, it's these relationships are so much farther than a Zoom meeting or even a day in the kitchen together.
Yeah.
It's that, you know, they are like my nephews. I'm invested, I'm in it. Let's do this and keep succeeding. And I'm part of that beautiful community through the James Beard Foundation. And I really believe in the programs and hopefully a living testament of the success when you invest in people who, you know, the Legacy Network was formed because we do struggle as BIPOC culinarians, not only in the kitchen spaces, but also as supply chain individuals. So being able to say, like, we see you, you're valuable, those are things that sometimes are really difficult for us to get in this industry. So having that support, having that space, I mean, it was a wonderful catalyst for long-term relationships to develop. And I hope that, like, if anybody can see, this is it working, this is the program working. Like, we're about to have this beautiful meetup of people who cannot wait to share what has been happening in their lives. And I honestly am so excited to hear it. It's a great blessing to be able to witness it all.
Me too. I'm really excited to be here today. I'm really excited for what's gonna happen next today. And I just wanted to thank you so much for coming on the podcast to talk about this. And I just wanted to thank you again for what you're doing for the community, because it means a lot to all of us, and yeah, thank you.
Thank you, myself included. I mean, I enter all of these spaces with deep gratitude, so thank you for the time.
You're very welcome.